If the coordinates of two vertices of a parallelogram are given and the diagonals are intersecting at the point 2, -5, then determine the coordinates of the remaining two vertices. So let us begin. So first we will consider a parallelogram having the vertices A, B, C and D. Now here the coordinates of two of the vertices of the parallelogram are given to us. So let's suppose that the coordinates of vertex A, that's 3, 2, and the coordinates of vertex B, let it be -1, 0. Fine. Now, it's given here that the diagonals intersect at a point with the coordinates 2, -5. So we're going to join A, C, and the vertex B and D. That's going to give us the two diagonals of the parallelogram. So here we have the diagonals AC and BD. So let's suppose that they're bisecting at the point E. Now E has the coordinates 2, -5. Our goal will be to obtain the coordinates of the remaining two vertices. So let's say the coordinates of D, let it be x1, y1. And coordinates of C, let it be x2, y2. So our goal will be to find out the value of the coordinates x1, y1. And we also need to find out x2, y2. So the question is, how shall we proceed? Now, in order to solve this problem, we will use the fact that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Now, since the diagonals AC and BD bisect each other, this means that the length of AE must be equals to the length of EC, and the length of BE must be equals to the length of ED. Now that also tells us that E is the midpoint of both the diagonal AC and BD. Now since E is the midpoint of AC, we can use the fact we'll use the fact that E is the midpoint of AC. Since E is the midpoint of AC, then we have 2, -5, which is the coordinate of midpoint E, that must be equals to, so we use the midpoint formula. All we have to do is add up the x coordinates, so that's 3 plus x2 divided by 2. That gives us the x coordinate of the midpoint, and the y coordinate will sum up the y coordinates of the endpoint, so that's 2 plus y2 and divided by 2. Now let's equate them. So we have 3 plus x2 divided by 2, so this will be equated with 2, and we have 2 plus y2 divided by 2, so that will be equated with -5, such that we now get the value of x2 that's going to be equals to 1, and the value of y2 that's going to be -12. Fine. So we have obtained the value of the coordinate x2, y2. Let's note it down. So C has the coordinate 1, -12. Fine. Now we can use the same fact that E is also the midpoint of ABD. So E is the midpoint of diagonal BD, which means that the coordinate of the midpoint, which is E, 2, -5, that will be equals to, so by using the midpoint formula, what we can do, we can add the x coordinate, so x1 gets added with -1 and divided by 2, and the y coordinate will be y1 added to the y coordinate of b, that's 0, divided by 2. So when we equate this value, then we get x1 minus 1 divided by 2 equals to 2, which implies that x1 corresponds to the value 5. And then we have y1 over 2 that will be equals to -5, and y1 corresponds to the value -10. So that means the coordinate of point D, which is x1, y1, that's going to be 5, -10. So we have successfully obtained the coordinates of the other two vertices of the parallelogram, such that the diagonals intersect at the point E, which is 2, -5.